Ever heard of coke nose? When you snort cocaine, it doesn't just mess with your brain, it can also wreck your nose too. Cocaine clogs blood vessels in your nose, which means swelling, irritation, and even tissue death. This can lead to a collapsed septum, which is the middle partition of your nose, and that's when your nose starts falling apart. And here's the scary part, it's irreversible. Your nose could potentially be permanently damaged. It's not just a bad look, but it's also a health risk. Cauliflower ear happens when your ear gets blunt trauma, usually from contact sports like wrestling or MMA. The trauma causes blood to collect in the ear, forming a pinna hematoma, and if untreated, it hardens, causing the ear to look lumpy. It's irreversible once it sets in, and it can affect hearing and ear shape permanently. If early and drain the blood, you can prevent this from happening. Here's what's really happening to you. At 12 hours, your body switches to fat burning mode. Say goodbye to stored sugar. At 16 hours, your cells start basically self-cleansing and repair. At 24 hours, your growth hormones skyrockets, helping with muscle repair and anti-aging. Beyond that, your body becomes a fat-burning, inflammation-fighting machine. How do your fingers wrinkle in water? In essence, the wrinkly fingers may help you grip wet objects more easily. When your hands are in water, nerve fibers are triggered to shrink. This causes a loss of volume in the fingertip. Loss of volume pulls the skin downwards, causing it to wrinkle. Have you noticed this before? Comment below if you have. Q-tips essentially push wax directly in your ear canal up against the eardrum. And if it does do this, then of course your eardrum will be less likely to respond to sound and vibrate normally. Why do you get goosebumps? Well, ever notice tiny bumps on your skin when you're cold or emotional? That's your body's survival mode kicking in. Goosebumps happen when tiny muscles at the base of your hair follicles contract. This makes your hair stand up, trapping heat to keep you warm. It's an ancient reflex from when humans had more body hair. Think of how animals fluff up when they're cold or scared. Goosebumps aren't just from the cold though. Music, fear, or strong emotions can trigger them because of the fight or flight response. Something that always gives you goosebumps. Comment below. Why do you get brain freeze? Well, if you've ever eaten ice cream too fast and felt that sharp pain in your head, that is brain freeze. But what actually causes it? A brain freeze is a sensation that happens when something cold hits the roof of your mouth and triggers sudden blood vessel changes. The cold makes the blood vessels in your palate, which is the upper part of your mouth, shrink, and then they rapidly expand to warm back up, and that quick change triggers pain signals. Want to stop brain freeze fast? It's very simple. You press your tongue against the roof of your mouth and it warms it up and actually stops the pain. Have you ever had brain freeze? Let me know in the comments below. Ever felt your ears pop on a plane or get blocked when you drive up a mountain? Here's why. It's all because of air pressure changes. Your ears have a tiny tube called the eustachian tube, which balances pressure between your middle ear and the outside world. When the pressure changes too fast, your ears just can't keep up, causing that blocked-like feeling. Here's a cool fact. Chewing gum, swallowing, or yawning actually helps open the eustachian tube, letting the pressure equalize. You may notice that sensation of a pop-like feeling. Pro tip, if your ears ever get stuck, try the Valsalva maneuver, which is gently pinching your nose, closing your mouth, and gently blowing. Ever notice that your nose gets blocked on one side and then switches to the other? This is not random, it's actually quite normal. It's called the nasal cycle. Your brain essentially tells your nostrils to take turns working effectively. Every few hours, the blood vessels on one side of the nostril swells up, while the other one opens. Why? Well, this really helps keep your nose moist, clean, and functioning effectively.